everyone, it's Jane here just to put down our tarot and oracle card reading for next week, which starts 13th of September. I can't believe it, we are nearly already halfway through September and it doesn't seem 5 minutes since we said hey, it's September. So weather's starting to cool down a little bit now. I'm pleased about that. I know a lot of people aren't. I really am. So this will be the last week that I'm using these decks, because next week I'm starting with the spooky decks. I've got them all out yesterday, excuse me, and got them all ready so that they're easily accessible. So they can start using them for the autumn. So that will be next week. Not quite sure which one we're going to start with. Maybe the Bohemian Gothic, maybe the Dark Mansion. I'm not so sure, I don't know. Anyway, it'll be one of them to go with this lovely black and white Faulkner deck that I always use. So let's just put down some cards and see what we've got to start off next week. Okay, so off we go. Let's see what we've got. So, first card. This is a really quite a damaged card. So if you've watched my stuff for a little while, you will know that this is the deck that I use all the time, this Faulkner deck. I have lots of packs of it because I stocked up on them when I thought there weren't going to be any more reprinted. So that I would always have a deck like this. So that Knight of Swords there is from my original deck that I have. Unfortunately, I lost at some point 3 or 4 cards from this deck. I still haven't found them. I've got no idea where they went. This is not a huge flat, but they're in here somewhere, but I have no idea where they are. So I took out a card from my older deck and put it into this deck. So that's why we've got a bit of a scrungy Knight of Swords there. So that's the story behind the damaged cards in this deck. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I just integrate them into the deck. They don't shuffle any differently, so they're not going to pop out on a more regular basis. There's not a problem. I don't have a problem with doing that. And I think with tarot, it's fine. Work with what works for you. I know there will be a lot of people that went, oh, you can't do that. But you know what? I did do that, and it's okay. So the Knight of Swords is a really great card because it talks about changes, it talks about communication, and it can be something that happens quite swiftly. So if at the beginning of the week you're looking to step it up a gear with some communication or make some changes or make a bit of a new start with something, this is a great card. Knight of Swords, all about that. Communication, say what you think, say what you mean, be honest, be truthful, be open, and don't be afraid to make changes, because it's optimum energy for doing that. This is a fast moving card. So you might find that anything that's been a bit stuck, anything where you felt a bit kind of flat, it's going to get moving with the Knight of Swords. I like the Knight of Swords. I think it's a great card. So a really, really good, strong, positive start to the week. Let me just have a little shuffle of the Heaven and Earth deck. I'll actually be quite sorry to stop using this deck because it really is gorgeous. I'm not going to stop using it forever anyway. I'll be going back to it at various different points and picking it up. But you know, I've got a lot of Halloweeny, autumny, spooky decks. So in order for each of them to get a little go over the next couple of months, I have to kind of start a little bit early. So let me just see what we've got here with this beautiful Heaven and Earth tarot. So I've said this about this deck before though. The only problem with this deck is it's so slippery. I don't find it particularly easy to shuffle because of that, because it just jumps about all over the place like that did. But we'll have that one soon as it's jumped out for us. Let me just pop these back in the box. Trying to keep this table a little bit tidy because it needs to be that way to be able to work with all the different autumn decks. So I'm just going to have a quick look at what this is. Okay, so this is the Six of Cups. I was just looking for the sixth cup. Yeah, I could see it was six at the top, but I couldn't see where the sixth cup was, and it's up here. So the Six of Cups is an interesting card because it talks about looking back at the past. It's a nostalgic energy. It's a card of looking back at childhood. It might be talking about exes coming back around you. If you are thinking, when am I going to hear from my ex? If that's a question that you come here with, these two cards would suggest soon. They would suggest that person is coming back in with something to say. I would always be mindful of that though, because I think it's all very well having a reading and saying, yeah, that person's going to come in, they're going to have something to say, you're going to get contact from your ex. That feels great if that's what you've been waiting for. But they need to come in with something to say that is different to what they had to start with, they were saying to start with, because they can't keep saying the same thing to you. That's not going to help you move forward. The Knight of Swords does talk about change. So it may be that if you are waiting for an ex to come back in and say something to you, that could be positive. It could be that they're changing their mind. It could be that they're going to change their behaviour. That's the key, whether they're going to change their behaviour, because if they're not, then there's no point in them coming back in. That's just dragging out your pain. So in terms of a love reading about exes, that would suggest we've got contact. In terms of other things, it talks about change. I would say that there's a lot of emotion around the sort of middle of this week. You might feel really nostalgic. You might feel like you're looking back at the past and learning from that. You might be looking back at your childhood. You might be trying to embrace that childhood again. Quite often when the Six of Cups comes up, it's asking us to embrace our inner child and have a little bit of fun. The Swords cards can also be saying to you, don't overthink anything too much. Go with your emotions. So really good, strong cards to start the week. Talking about change, we're talking about emotion. So I feel like I've got a better energy coming in around our emotional state of being, which is excellent. So I'm just going to pop down an oracle card to go with this, and this will be the last time I use the Sacred Forest for a little while, although that might be a lie, because they may well pop back in, because I just love these cards so much. I've got this card, these ones, and I've got the Arboretum Oracle deck that I really want to use some more. So I don't know how I'm going to encompass all of that, because I've also got some you know, Halloween-y sort of oracle cards, so I'm not sure. Too many decks, never too many decks. But let's have a look and see what this beautiful oracle deck has got to say to us for this week. Okay, love the Crystal Cave. The Crystal Cave is, in this deck, it talks about trust. When I think about a Crystal Cave, though, I kind of get that hermit energy, you know, where we are withdrawing a little bit, we're going back into our shell, we're just quietly stepping back, and the energy that the hermit has in his lamp is what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for to guide us. I was watching somebody else quite recently, and they put it really well, because what they talk about is the hermit has the lamp. Within the lamp, you have the star. So the star is our hopes, our dreams, our wishes. So it's all about trusting that those wishes and hopes and dreams can come true. The way we focus on that is to be able to just live our joy in this moment, because if we're joyful now, that's what's going to create our joy later on. Excuse me, just one sec. Let me just have a little drink of water. So yeah, a really, really beautiful card, the Crystal Cave. I'm just gonna have a quick look and see what Denise Lynn says about the Crystal Cave. It's interesting because I just talked about the Hermit. This is actually the number 9 card. So number 9 in the tarot would be the Hermit. So that makes complete sense too. So it says here, the spirit of the Crystal Cave says you can let go and allow your clear, focused intention to flow freely. Follow the nudges from your soul, listen to others, but trust your instincts. So I think that's quite hermity energy. It's just taking that step back. Yeah, of course, if you have people around you that you trust, that you might want to ask their opinion, fine. But you don't have to do that. And also, you don't have to take what they say on board. I always think it's really wise to just consider a couple of things. Our best friends and our family may well want the best for us, but they have their own agendas too. And even if their agenda is just to protect you because they really love you, they might then advise you, guide you, nudge you to step back from something that you really want to have a go at. They might be doing that out of the best intentions to just want to keep you safe because they love you. So, you know, always a little bit of a pinch of salt, I think, with what other people think and what other people say. Your intuition is your guide. This is the Crystal Cave. Trust in your own inner wisdom. That's what the Hermit talks about. That's what this card talks about. It's about a guiding light. That guiding light is within you, not any of your friends or any of your families or any of your enemies. It's within you. So yeah, by all means, hear what they say. Don't necessarily have to take it on board. And always remember, they have their own agenda. Not a bad agenda necessarily, but an agenda that is not objective. Okay, it's not an objective point of view. If you want an objective point of view, have a reading with somebody that you trust, or go and have a counselling session with somebody who just listens to you and offers you challenges to what you're saying so that you can work out what your path is. They're not going to tell you what to do. A reading shouldn't, neither should a counsellor, but they will offer you ideas and guidance. And if you have a way of thinking that they feel you could challenge, you know, for instance, if you're thinking nothing ever works for me, they might want to challenge that, and so might you, because I'm absolutely certain that no one can sit and say absolutely nothing works for them. There's always a little something somewhere that you can pick up as a little morsel and build on that. Even if the only thing that is working for you is you opened your eyes this morning and you woke up and you got up. Because if you woke up and you got up, then you're a step ahead of someone who couldn't do that. So, you know, it's perspective, isn't it? And I'm not saying devalue any problems that you have, because that's not a good idea either. It's definitely, you need to acknowledge when there are problems and when you have struggles and when you have challenges. But don't make them everything, I think is what I'm trying to say. Let me have a little shuffle of Brian, see what Brian's got to add, because he's always got something to chip in with. Okay. Let's see what we've got with Brian. Okay, I've had this one quite a bit recently. Hold on tight and ride the hard times through. It's going to be a bumpy ride, but I believe in you. Keep going. So, you know, if you are experiencing a bumpy ride, hang on in there. Don't give up. These cards are not bad cards at all. In fact, they're really positive. This is all about, you know, you've been able to follow your inner guidance. So it's about that trust. It's about these. I think that's a fabulous card, the Crystal Cave. So is the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is lovely. I mean, it's a lovely energy. Just be aware with the Six of Cups. Don't want to be looking back at things through rose-coloured glasses, and be mindful of doing that. Knight of Swords is about change. Change can be scary. It can feel like a bumpy ride when we decide we're going to change something, or we have changed something and now we're getting used to that new way of being. If you've changed something in your life about the way you look at things, sometimes it takes a little while for that to settle and to get used to it, and it can feel uncomfortable. That's when you have to be in the crystal cave and trust. So hopefully that has helped a little bit about our energy for next week. Don't forget to, I'm really keep being drawn back to that Six of Cups, and I'm getting that message from my guide that's saying be playful, be joyful, enjoy the things that you like to do. It's really important to focus on that joy, because feeling that joy now is what will draw more joy to you in the future. So hopefully that's helped. If it has, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Really, really helps it to be any interaction with my channel, just a comment or a like or a subscribe, really helps the channel to be seen, and it means that I can help more people. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully this week I will get up to doing some more unboxings, because I do have a couple that I'd really like to do, but I didn't get to do them last week because it just didn't pan out that way. So hopefully I'll be able to do those this week. I know I keep promising, but I'm really, really going to try this week. Thanks very much, and I will see you all soon.